What up, people's internet? My name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I thought I would jump on the booktube trend, or literally just not be original, and do a video that lots of booktubers do. And that is popular books that I haven't read. And I haven't read a lot of popular books, and there's one in particular that everyone knows I haven't read, and everyone always tells me to read it. And you guys know, I've told you I'm planning on reading it in the summer because I want to marathon it. So without further ado, let's just jump into this and show you guys the popular books that I have not read. Okay, so the first one that I'm starting off with is the one I was just talking about, and that is the Percy Jackson series. I have not read anything by Rick Riordan, so I haven't read his Hero of Olympus series or anything like that either, but the Percy Jackson one is the one I own all the books for, and I just haven't read them. But I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, I am planning on marathoning this series in the summer, so don't worry guys, it is going to happen. I am 100% sure I'm going to be marathoning this series in the summer, so do not worry, it will be read. And I've heard so many great things about this. I've heard that there's such quick reads, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing what all the hype is about and seeing if I will love this series just as much as everyone else, because if I don't like it, I feel like there's a lot of hate gonna come my way if I do not like these. The next one that I'm going to talk about that I haven't read is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, and this is the third and final book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children trilogy, and I haven't read it. Like, I've owned it since it came out and I just have not read it, and I am obsessed with this series. I loved book 1 and book 2, but why haven't I read book 3? I don't know. Like, why haven't I read this? Why? Like, I just don't understand why I haven't read this, but who knows? I want to read this soon. I really do. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rosh, or Rosh. I don't really know how to pronounce her last name, and I'm sorry about that. But anyways, I haven't read this book, and I've heard so many great things about this series, or trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, I'm not sure. I've heard so many great things about this. Like, loads of my close friends here on BookTube have read this, or the rest of the books as well, and they've told me how great it is and how much I will like it. And I just haven't read it. Like, I just never picked it up, and the cover is stunning. Like, I really want to read this, but I just haven't. All I know is that I need to read it because the rest of the book covers are stunning, and I need to own them, and I need to fall in love with the characters like everyone else has. And yeah, I just need to read them. So the next book I'm going to be talking about is Looking for Alaska by John Green. Now, I love John Green's books, so this is quite shocking that I haven't read one of his most popular ones. I feel like if there was a movie coming out for this book, it would give me more motivation to pick it up sooner, but for some reason I just haven't. Like, I get in a kind of mood where I'm in the mood to read a John Green book, and then I'll read one, and then I remember why I love John Green, but then I don't pick up another book for like ages. So I always have this like cycle, but I don't know why, because I loved all of his other books, and I need to read this one because this is the one lots of people talk about, and I just haven't read it. Okay, so the next one I'm going to be talking about is a series, but mainly the first book in that series, and that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Now, this is a book series that I have been wanting to start for so long because I love Disney or anything to do with like fairy tales. So the fact that these are like fairy tale retellings of like Cinderella, Snow White, all of them, I need to read this series, but they only sell the paperback versions in Irish shops, and I want the hardcovers. So I know I could just order them off like Amazon or stuff, but they're really expensive for some reason. They're like a lot more expensive than a normal hardback is, and I don't understand why. So then when I was in America last year, my intention was to buy these books in hardcover when I got to America. And when I went into Barnes & Noble over there, they only had them in paperback, and I was just like, what? America, you're supposed to be the place where I go to get my hardbacks, so why are you selling paperbacks? I can get them in Ireland. So yes, I have still don't own this series, and I really, really, really want to start and read it because I just know I'm going to absolutely love it. And I'm going to be obsessed with them just like everyone else is, so I just need to read them. But for some reason, the hardcover just won't come into my life. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. Now, I don't even know if this series is that popular anymore because I feel like the hype for this has mainly died down. It's probably going to pick back up again when more stuff starts happening about the movie adaptation. I read The Darkest Minds. When did I read that? I read that like near the start of when I started my booktube channel because it was one of the most popular books when I started. So I read it. I wasn't obsessed with The Darkest Minds. I liked it, but I didn't understand fully the hype. People say that like your feels and everything just gets stronger in this book and everything just like blossoms, like you get more attached to certain characters. And I feel like I will probably really enjoy it, but for some reason I just have no like desire to read it at this moment. Unless you guys tell me down in the comments that, Kevin, you need to get your act together and read this book. Because if a lot of you tell me that, then I will be way more motivated to read it. I've just never gotten around to reading this book and I've owned it since it came out. So I need to get a move on and read it. But do you think that's gonna happen? No. So the next one, I'm actually really disappointed in myself and really sad that I haven't actually read this book. And that is The Bane Chronicles by Sandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan and Maureen Johnson. Why haven't I read this, guys? Why? Like, that's why I'm so disappointed in myself. I just don't understand why I haven't read this, because I love the Mortal Instruments. I love the Infernal Devices. I am loving the Dark Artifices series. I just said artifices. Wow, I'm saying that word so weird. Why haven't I read this? I love Magnus, so why? Why? Like, why? I don't understand it. I don't know why. There's no reasoning. Literally, there's no reasoning why I haven't read this. I don't know. Like, I need to. Kevin, read this book. I need, like, why? I'm sorry, I'm just so baffled as to why I haven't read this. Okay guys, so that is going to be it for this video. Let me know down below some of the popular books that you haven't read, and if you have not read any of these books that I showed too, because then that way I won't feel so bad if you haven't read them either. But yeah, other than that, I will see you all in my next video. So goodbye guys.